I'm Dr. John Hicks. I'm from Los Gatos, California. Focusing lately has been on CBD, cannabidiol. And I got interested in that because I had several young patients with seizures that were out of control. They were on multiple medications and they could hardly function. They couldn't even stay awake during the day. They had to drop out of school. So what I was looking for is, are there some other answers? Is there another way to do this without creating those issues and problems? And that's really where CBD starts to fill in a void. And it's working by stabilizing the neurons so they're less likely to keep firing. So it stabilizes the intracellular calcium. It works with the adenosine 2A receptors, it works with the 5-HT1 receptors, and it's just rebalancing and remodulating the whole system itself. With CBD, since it's the non-psychotropic side of the hemp or marijuana, it doesn't have the psychoactive activity. So it's not affecting CB1 receptors. It has been tested up to 700 milligrams a day, and really no side effects were noted at all. So its margin of safety is great. And you don't have the cannabinoid receptors around the cardiovascular and respiratory centers in the brainstem. So you don't get those side effects. And typically the most common thing is the more you get, you may get tired and you may get the munchies. Well, the uses are very broad because you look at it as a preventative. So it can prevent inflammation from starting. It helps to remodulate your immune system. So in that, then the next piece of that is decreasing inflammation, and it's neuroprotectant. It decreases inflammation, it prevents ischemic injury, and can be used after a stroke up to 6 hours, and it will start to decrease the amount of damage that was done and the progression of the damage. Then it's great for anxiety. It's anxiolytic at low doses. So that effect is through the limbic system and affecting the amygdala and hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. So it can allow the extinguishing of fear. So it can be used with post-traumatic stress disorder, panic disorders, those types of things. Then it can be used for gut inflammation because it does that on two sides. It affects the microglial cells in the neuroimmune system, and it topically decreases inflammation. So when you're looking at something like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's, any of those, it can help decrease that inflammation and increase the healing speed. It helps to disinhibit, and I think that's really the piece, and that's the whole limbic system piece, because that's sort of where we tie emotion to things. And if it reduces the stress of the moment and allows you to enjoy that moment more, then you're going to feel better about it and your participation will be enhanced. Looking at CBD, both that and THC will affect the amygdala and help modulate the sensory input. CBD is more specific for sensory input and the emotional pieces. Releasing energy is more the CB1 THC piece for that. Well, actually there have been some studies done with smoking it, and it really doesn't create the lung issues that smoking cigarettes did. And actually they showed that for risk of lung cancer, those who had smoked marijuana versus those who had not smoked, the marijuana smokers had a lower incidence of lung cancer than did people who didn't smoke at all, because it's really relieving bronchospasm and then it's providing large amounts of antioxidants. So delivery systems, it's really going to depend on what the person's comfortable with. The CBD mainly is oils or liquids or capsules, so you're not going to be smoking that, although you can use a vape pipe and it can be aerosolized, so you could use that. Well, I think when you look at what are the pieces that will make me as healthy as I can be. So to me, adding CBD is really a beneficial piece. I mean, vitamins and minerals, we all sort of know, yes, we do that. A lot has to do with what we eat and when we eat, and are we getting good probiotics. I mean, there's a lot of pieces to this. But I think CBD, because it potentially prevents so many problems, that adding that in a very small amount, you don't need a lot. You know, 4, 5, 6 milligrams a day can be enough as a preventative to really help. So you can get topical products with this, creams, lotions, there's shampoos, conditioners, there's all kinds of applications that, since you absorb it transdermally, you're going to get small amounts through that. And we don't really get much of that in our normal diet. So when you look at, okay, it's neuroprotective, it's anti-inflammatory, it modulates your immune system, it protects your gut, it protects your heart muscles, it increases cell energy, it helps you recover after exercise. So for athletes, it can be a big deal because it can increase your performance and your body's capability to perform.